Howdy folks, I'm the Roleplay Gamer and I like to party. Yeah! Let's do it! Let's play some, let's roleplay some Pillars of Eternity. We're back with the Orlan Chanter. And we've got to go talk to a dwarf. Hang on, is that spoilers? I can't remember if it actually said if it was a dwarf or not. So I've gotten, I wouldn't say reasonably far. I've been told that there are actually acts. Act as in act. S. The plural of a single act in this game. And I imagine that they would quite vocally announce themselves, as acts normally do. So I'm still in Act 1 on my personal playthrough, which is like 25 hours in. It's starting to get good. I've got my stronghold, which is down here. We haven't got it yet on this playthrough. And it starts to open up some interesting things. I'm looking forward to getting there with my Orlan Chanter. But for now... Oh shit! The squat... Distended? I don't even know what that means, man. Body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bough that sags at the tug of her noose. The bluted purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it. Not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Let's reach out for that woman. Which, incidentally, you can probably get fined for in the real world, but this is a game, man. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded... I feel like sometimes I need glasses. I don't, but sometimes I feel like I do. Once you have expanded enough to reach her... That just seems like a really awkward sentence. There is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Hold on a second. I always goddamn forget to do this. Gotta put my countdown timer. Alright, we're good to go. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you, with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel, from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. Yes?
Love that voice. Reminds me of the old crone, witch, whatever woman from 13th Warrior. Anyone seen that movie? Good movie. Alright. We're still pretty, wet behind the ears. We're green. I feel like we're probably freaking out about this, so... How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happening to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face, as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there?
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
There we go, guys. We are a watcher. But why? How'd that happen? I got a pretty good idea, but I'm not going to tell you. What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either living or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Cool. So, a lot of people, like in reviews for this game and whatnot, they reckon the story is average at best. I don't know if that's based on like what physically happens later on the story, but just based on what's going on at the moment and this whole explanation of how souls work in this game, in this universe, that's really cool, man. This is totally appealing to me. It's I reckon it's fairly unique, the whole soul magic thing and reincarnation and whatnot. It's, I don't know, slightly new agey. I'm digging it. It's yeah, it's doing it for me. What did you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Okay, working at Pry because, like I've said previously, might have been the last episode, real people don't just go asking a whole bunch of random, unconnected questions. So, we're not going to do that. It doesn't feel like the right time to say, am I imagining this? Nor does it feel like the right time to bring up anything else. The only questions I would want to ask under the circumstances aren't actually an option. So, let's just get out of here and find this Meerwald, however you say it. Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes, and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Aloth looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you all right? You seem lost just now. Alright. I feel like, yeah, we want to downplay it. Yes, I'm fine. He folds his arms. That's good to know, but I don't suppose you could tell me what that was all about. Alright, go tell him. I'm a watcher. A what? A watcher. Sorry. Yet a wizard, had he? His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that's interesting. He gives you a sly grin. And I expect that explains how you survived a Beerwick. In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Okay. Now that we've opened up to him, do you know anything about watchers? Only that they're rare, and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions. He coughs. As you just demonstrated. Let's continue on. Alright.
17 and a half.
Okay. Yep. See, now I'm in a dilemma here. I know, in terms of gameplay sense, we should probably talk to this guy again. But would my character do it? You know what? He probably would. He's probably thinking, what's this smartass doing just counting shit? Alright, let's do it. The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Sorry. Excuse me. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-coloured hair leaning against a mossy rock wall. His pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk. This guy totally looks like Bruce Willis, so I'm going to call him Bruce Willis.
17 and a half. Oh, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
I'm sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway.
Alof frowns. Is that what you people do for fun around here?
Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops. You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? He looks at you a moment. His brow arched. His smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Impossible. I don't drool half as much. Ha! So you're already familiar. Still, you'll have to forgive my curiosity. Round here, we prefer to turn a blind eye to our dead. Alright, yeah, we're not going to admit anything to him yet. I've been out of sorts lately. Of course. We'll all got our bad days when we stand perfectly still and stare at corpses for a while without blinking. I don't know if I'm getting his accent right. You have to forgive me on this one. Oh, I don't know where this is going to take us. Yeah, okay. I honestly don't know if this is going to be... Alright, let's just do it. It's none of your business. Fair enough. If folks around here minded their business, then that tree over there would have a few less wind chimes. I don't know why I'm throwing. Maybe I should take heed. I'll leave you to your corpse staring. Damn it. Alright, shouldn't have been so terse with him. Hang on, can we... Oh, okay, we can try again. Pretty social for someone who's hiding something. You gotta tell me what that business by the tree was, or do I gotta guess? Alright. Jesus, we just gotta... I don't like this, having to tell all and sundry that we're a watcher, but I suppose that's what we gotta do. That's what the story's demanding. Do you know what a watcher is?
Careful, friend. Let's not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, animancers, watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be. course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Oh, alright. None taken. Good. They don't mean it personal when they hang folks here. I have to remind myself.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
What does your town have against you?
Pick the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea. Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, and then I did too. But, he didn't make it back. After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason. Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me. Seems that's no longer a concern. Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Raedric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Aloth glances at you and lowers his voice. You can see why I was eager to leave. Okay. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile. Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Waidwin's legacy started with Waidwin. I think I'm going too southern with him, but whatever. We could travel together. Where you headed? Some place called, I have no idea how to pronounce this. Oh, shut up, dog. Cade Noir. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before. Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But, truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
There's a fine reason if I ever heard one. That was probably too deep for... There's a fine reason if I ever heard one. That's better.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
He tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look. Let's get going. Alright, so that was a lot of bloody reading. I feel like that's probably not a lot of fun to watch for you guys. So I'm definitely open to suggestions for the playthroughs. In particular, I've been thinking about, because I'd like to do more characters. So I've been thinking about, for the next one, do you want me to like skip a whole bunch of stuff and like start from just another area, another point in the story, or what? Because otherwise we'll just be going through a lot of the same stuff. So let me know what you think. I've also been thinking of doing other formats. There's sort of a really huge dungeon that's, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's, for all intents and purposes, it may as well be endless. Hold on a second. I'm just going to deal with this dog. I'll be back with you momentarily. Crisis averted. Killed the dog. No, but not really. Alright, we should have quiet now. Splendid! Okay, where were we? We better look at our journal action. Okay, travel to Cade Noir. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm hoping someone pronounces it in the voice acting soon, because that needs a nightmare. So we've only got those things to do. I know there are side quests. I know there are side quests afoot. But it's, I don't know. I feel like that's going to be the one thing on our mind at the moment. So let's head back to the inn. Hang on, how much? I don't think we've really got it. Well, all right. We'll see if we can hire someone. Because we're gonna need her. I'll tell you that much. We're gonna need a healer. Okay.
Greetings.
All right. Let's not go through everything. Some of these things we don't need to read. You get the gist. So we still haven't got enough. You know what? Maybe we just need to sell some shit. Yeah, let's just sell shit. Simple clothing. We're not going to need that. The helmet is mostly pointless. Wolf hide. We don't need the daggers. Probably not the hatchets. We probably don't need that much hide armor either. Beautiful. So now we can hire someone. That's expensive though. Come on. There we go. All right. So what do we want? Let's get a chick. Yeah, let's do that because otherwise it's going to be a sausage fest. I actually noticed that in my personal playthrough. I can't remember the actual numbers on male and female companions, but at least at the beginning, you don't get any female companions. So that's kind of missing. So what do we want? Maybe another Orlan? Maybe we can have sort of like a counterpart to our Orlan Chanter. Yeah, I like that idea. I really like that idea. No, another Hearth Orlan. Alright, and what class? Ooh, the excitement. We want a healer, so I feel like, well, a priest is probably the way to go for that. But we could also go a paladin for a little more frontline action. Sort of a tank healer. Oh, it's tricky. You know, oh man. I do like the idea of priest, like a priest with a mace. Oh shit. You know I like that. Hang on, let's just see what we... Hang on, what a paladin. I'm just going to go ahead here and see what kind of looks we can get. Because, you know, it's all about the look. Nah, yeah, let's go with a priest. Let's not dilly-dally and beat around the bush here. A priest is what we need. So a priest of what? So I'm not going to go through all these because we'll run out of time in the episode. But favorite disposition, stoic and rational, benevolent and honest, aggressive and clever, deceptive and cruel, or deceptive and clever. I feel like deceptive and clever is probably a good fit. Yeah, because I'm thinking about like probably a close friend of our Orlan folk. It's like, hey, what are you doing here? I found you at the inn. You sandbagging son of a bitch. Okay, so as a priest, we want high might and high intellect. So put that up to 15. This is probably like a terrible way to build a character, but my general rule of thumb has been 5 apiece on the 2 highly recommended skills. And then I sort of even out everything else, the rest of what I got, onto the two silver skills. So action speed and concentration and deflection. Oh, they're both important. Like, I'm tempted. Like, on the one hand, I want my dexterity to be high, because then if you need that quick heal, you can get it out. But resolve is also going to be important, especially if you're in melee range. No, our resolve is probably going to be more important. Okay, and where's she going to be from? I may as well make her from the same place. That's kind of cool too. Like this dirty big mace as a priest. I like that idea. And she's probably... Is she an artist as well? I'm not sure if that makes sense. Making as a troublemaker. Yeah. Who then went into the priesthood. A troublemaker. I like that. Yeah, that's good. Let's leave her as... I like that look. And I suppose we'll leave it at that.
I shall lead us. After 'em!
The better part of valor.
I'm here. Follow me.
Sharp eyes and keen ears. Yes.
I shall lead us.
Yeah, I like Mystic. That's good. And what are we going to call her? Something starting with J. Let's just call her Jessica. I don't know anyone by that name. Oh, I do, but not well. That's how you spell it, isn't it? I don't know, I think. Done. Cool. Excellent. Have we got anything in the stash? See, let's pull everything out of the stash here. This is the mistake I made in my personal playthrough. Of just letting the stash fill up. So I want to... Because then we kind of forget what we have. I don't want to do that. The food we can probably leave. I think that tends to go into the stash by default. Okay. 9, 7. That's still... Alright, so I guess we'll give the wizard this scale mail, because why not? Why the hell not? I ask you. And yeah, we'll stick with the Morning Star, because you know I love it.
Well met, friend.
Let's sell a few more things, and then we'll be on our way. Oh shit, what did I just do? Hang on. Opens his mouth, but seems to reconsider. Nothing for me, thanks. Okay. Okay, let's sell some things. We can sell 1 torch. Alright. I'm not sure. Yeah, we don't need to load up on too much here. But we'll keep some of the armor, I think. Cool. Good. And let's get out of here. Cool beans. So this has been a... I'm sorry, guys, if this has been a supremely boring episode on account of all the talking. After this point, you know, the game in general just begins with a whole lot of talking. But after this point, you do get into some action. And like I said before, let me know on just your thoughts, what you would like to see in the interest of making these videos more interesting and just speeding up the process a little bit. I'm really enjoying this game and I really want to share it with you. But we just got to work out the kinks of exactly how I'm going to do that. So I should probably end the episode here. Thanks for watching, guys. And you know what? I'm going to record another episode right now. Just try and get some action for you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Check me out on Twitter and the website. And I'll see you next time. Roleplay Gamer out.